We are in the early stages of an all-out global war and the market doesn't know it yet. So Ray Dalio, whose books I've been reading for a number of years now, recently released an article about things going on around the world that we really need to know. And he says that basically the market is wrong about the war and that we're in the first steps of a war that could last many, many years. Basically, he's saying there are pockets of fighting going on all around the world that people view as mostly independent from each other, but they're actually mostly connected. So the war in Ukraine, the war in Israel and Gaza, the war going on between Yemen, Saudi Arabia, the UAE. And then there are actually many, many interconnected relationships between all of these things, and more are getting dragged into it. And then there are the wars that haven't fully developed into hot shooting wars, but are bubbling up behind the background, like the US, China, Taiwan conflict. And I say the market is wrong because the article specifically talks about this. The article talks about how the market is pricing in specifically for things to calm down in the short term and go back to normal. If you look back through history and the media, in the early stages of major wars, most people did not realize themselves they were in such a major global war. And it's interesting because right now I'm reading this book called The Black Swan, and in the book the author talks about when in his childhood, where there was the Lebanese civil war, when it first broke out, all of the adults were telling him it will only be over in a few days. But what actually ended up happening was it ended up lasting 17 years. And this situation seriously affects how we should think about investing in the times coming ahead. I recently made a video about why the S&P 500 is actually a lot riskier than what most people think. And basically the article talks about how everything is interconnected. It has an appendix of all the US treaties with countries around the world, as well as the countries with treaties with China, Russia. And what we're seeing now compared to many other analogous periods in history are many, many markers of an all-out war coming ahead. So this is a really big topic, so I'll be making more videos about how I'm adjusting my investing strategy to deal with the times ahead. In the meantime, make sure you go and check out Ray Dalio's article on Substack. I'll guarantee you learn something.